They called him Kaari. To most, he was a myth, a whisper that drifted through trees long after midnight, the rustle you couldn't quite place, the eyes that watched but never blinked. A shadow among shadows. But for those who lived deep in the jungle, those who understood the old ways, Kaari was more than legend. He was law. The Black Panther ruled the night with silence sharper than claws. He stalked without sound, killed without cruelty, vanished without a trace. Prey feared him. Predators respected him. Not because of the blood he spilled, but because of the blood he spared. He brought balance, not terror. In a land where power often meant violence, Kaari was different. His dominion stretched from the hollow gorge to the high ridge stones, from the mist pines to the blue river's edge. No animal crossed his lands without caution. But there were no mass graves, no scattered bones, no rotting displays of dominance. Kaari hunted for need, not pride. And when he walked through the jungle, the leaves parted for him, as if the trees themselves bowed. For years, this balance held. Until one season, the rains came late. Hunger crept in. Young blood stirred. And among it, a new presence, a leopard named Talon. Larger than most, with golden fur and dark rings that coiled like smoke. His body was strong, but his hunger was stronger. Not for food, for recognition. Talon had grown up hearing tales of Kaari. He had watched the panther from afar, studied his routes, mimicked his walk. He admired him, once. But admiration curdled into envy. Talon didn't want to be like Kaari. He wanted to replace him. He began in secret, testing Kaari's reach. Claiming smaller trees along the riverbank. Intercepting prey in Kaari's territory. Marking with his own scent. Subtle at first, careful. But over time, bolder. Kaari did not respond. Not with roars. Not with confrontation. He simply removed Talon's scent. Over and over again. That silence enraged Talon more than any growl could have. He began gathering others. Rogues. The exiled. A pair of hungry jackals, 2 young leopards, and a lynx with a broken fang. Together, they spoke not of respect, but of replacement. The jungle, Talon claimed, needed a new kind of king. One that didn't hide in silence. One that ruled with visibility, with presence, with might. And then came the night. The moon didn't rise. The stars were hidden. Even the fireflies dimmed. The jungle was darker than memory. Kaari moved along his usual path, through the whispering grove, a clearing where leaves never rustled, even in wind. He didn't know they were waiting. 6 of them. Hiding not by silence, but sheer weight of darkness. The ambush was swift. The jackals came first, snapping at his heels. The lynx lunged from above, claws catching air. Kaari twisted mid-leap, avoiding the worst of it. He slammed the lynx into a trunk, then vanished into the brush, but not far. He circled. Fast. Focused. One jackal fell with a gurgle. The younger leopard screamed when Kaari tore across his flank. But numbers are cruel. Talon struck from the side, full force. His claws found Kaari's ribs. They tumbled together, a blur of black and gold, a storm of growls and shrieks. Kaari landed hard. Blood dripped from his flank. He rose, staggered, hissed. Talon pounced again. The lynx returned. The others circled. It became less a fight and more a collapse. Blow after blow. Slash after slash. Kaari did not beg. He did not roar. He fought. Until he couldn't. At last, he stood, barely. His chest heaved. One eye swollen. His mouth foamed with breath and blood. He looked not at Talon, but at the trees. Then he fell. And the jungle fell quiet. Talon stood over him, chest heaving, victorious. He had done it. The ghost of the night was dead. He held to the treetops. Declared himself ruler. marked the stone ledge with his claws, and waited for the jungle to respond. It didn't. The birds did not sing. The owls did not return. Even the breeze refused to rise. Talon's followers shifted uneasily. He roared again. And again. But no voice echoed back. The jungle had not crowned a new king. It had simply lost something sacred. By the second night, the whispering grove grew wild. Vines twisted in on themselves. Antelope abandoned their routes. Even the frogs ceased their croaks. The balance was broken. Talon paced through Kaari's old trails, tried to assert order. He barked at owls, chased warthogs, snapped at his own followers when they questioned his patrols. He widened his scent marks. But it was all force. There was no flow. Then the dreams began. Each night, Talon would close his eyes and see him. Not dead. Not broken. But alive, watching. Kaari, untouched by blood or claw, walking the treetops, silent as ever. In the dream, Talon would chase him, clawing branches, leaping across gaps, but Kaari always stayed just ahead. Until he turned, looked back with those dim, amber eyes, and disappeared. Talon would wake in a sweat. Each night, the vision grew closer. Each day, more animals disappeared. The jackals left first. No farewell. Just gone. Then the younger leopard, who once called Talon brother, vanished without a trace. The lynx, mad-eyed, began muttering nonsense about the breath that walks. Even the prey shifted. No patterns. No rhythm. Just chaos. And still, no sound. Not even fear. Only absence. Talon stood one dusk beneath the same tree where Kaari had first watched him trespass. He marked it again. This time deeper. Desperate. Behind him, the jungle shimmered. Not with light. With memory. He turned quickly, sensing something. But there was nothing. Only wind. The first breeze in weeks. It carried a scent he couldn't name. Not blood. Not prey. Something older. Talon blinked. And for a moment, he saw Kaari's eyes in the leaves. No blink. No hate. Just knowing. And then it was gone. The jungle never accepted Talon. Not because he was unworthy. But because he never listened. Kaari had ruled by listening. By moving not against the wild, but with it. He knew when not to hunt. When not to step. When to leave a clearing untouched for days. He knew the invisible music of the trees, the roots beneath, the rhythm of the rain. Talon had silenced a panther. But in doing so, he had deafened the forest. Days passed. Then weeks. Then moons. Talon grew gaunt. His roars lost their thunder. His claws dulled. His followers gone. His legend never born. And still, the jungle remained silent. Until one night. The moon was full. Bright. Clear. The whispering grove rustled again. Slowly. Softly. A breeze moved through the trees. Leaves trembled. And from the canopy a shadow passed, soundless, smooth. Not a roar. Not a cry. Just a presence. The jungle breathed. And for the first time in many moons, it whispered once more. But not of Talon. Not even of Kaari. Just of silence. Of balance. Of the ghost who once ruled the night. And how even in death, he still walked among the trees.